Okay, welcome everybody. February 8th, 2022, and we are going to go over it's our first stat meeting of the year of 2022. We're going to go over January stats.
So I want to mention something really quick before we begin.
Yeah.
We are growing our team this year and we are adding more agents. So if you know somebody who is interested in getting into real estate or another agent, let us know. We'd love to add some spots to the team this year.
Well, let's start out and let's talk about a caution, all right? We hear about this many different times throughout the year, and even if you check on video 12 of our buyer messages, we actually address this in a little bit more detail, and it's wire fraud, all right? If you are in the middle of a transaction, or if you're doing anything with money movement and there's a wire involved, you will never be asked to wire funds by email, all right? We had a listing. Yesterday it was supposed to close. The buyer's agent reached out to us in the morning and said that the deal's dead because they were scammed.
Another good term is fraud.
Somebody had gotten to their email, fraudsters, and they instructed them to send their down payment to the scammer, to the fraudster, and not to the title company. So they were totally deceived. The money's gone. They don't have another down payment. The deal's dead. Okay? So they're always out there. They're always trying to find a way in, whether it's through phone calls, through emails. They're trying to find a way that they can trick us. And before you send any money, even if you have instructions, call your agent. Especially call the person you're sending it to and talk to them and make sure that you're okay. All right?
At this point, you want to make sure to verify, am I sending it to this bank? Is this the right one? I received this email.
You're not going to get that money back.
Yeah.
The odds of you getting that money back and the odds of it being covered by insurance, usually pretty low.
I want to plug in right now. This is where if you do not have two-step verification on your email, today is the day to add that. You just go into your setting. Google wants you to do it. They've probably been asking you to do it this whole time. If you use Gmail, two-step verification is essential in emails for everybody.
Yeah. Let's talk about a couple things that we normally don't talk about, but we want to chat about inflation. December of 2021, we were sitting at 7%, all right? And that is up 6.8% from the month before, and it's up 1.4% over the previous year, okay? So inflation is up. Prices are going up. Right? Does that mean our dollars we're getting more dollars at the same time?
Absolutely
No, we're getting the same amount of dollars, but prices are going up, which means we can buy less. Unemployment rate, really, really low, record lows. These are national stats. It's 3.9%, and it's down 4.2% from the previous month and down 6.7% from the previous year. So employment is strong and unemployment just continues to be really low. That's a huge factor to how well the economy is based on our unemployment rate.
I believe the governor of Idaho even said, I think we're below 2% in Idaho.
Yeah, we're like crazy low numbers. So, and what's the biggest thing that every company has a hard time finding right now?
Employees.
And that's a sign of just record unemployment. There aren't many people out there. Single family housing unit starts. This one's interesting because we need more than anything, more inventory, right? And the only way to get more inventory is through existing homes or new homes. And we're seeing that in December of 2021, it was just over 1.1 million single family homes were basically started. And that is down 2.3% from the previous month, and it's down 10.9%. So nationally, starts were down almost 11% from the previous year. All right.
Which is funny because we had supply chain issues last year and everything. Mm-hmm. So we need more homes being built.
Could that be a little bit of an influence on unemployment rate? Because, I mean, what's the hardest part right now for any builder that you talk to or any sub? Every single builder could do double or triple of what they're doing right now if they had the people to help them do it. Let's talk about affordability. How affordable is housing? The level line on this is 100%. All right, so if you're above 100%, that means you have, for the most part, affordable housing. And if you're under 100%, then it's your price is getting up to where it's less affordable. Nationally, homes are still very affordable. And that is down less than 1% from the previous month, and that's down 12.4% from the previous year. National stats don't always translate to local markets. Our affordability index for Bonneville County is 68. Okay, so we are low. We're under 100. It's still more affordable than Boise. It's still more affordable than Salt Lake. It's still more affordable than Portland. But we're now in that higher range of it's more expensive to live here.
If you can't afford housing, the people will look for jobs that pay more so that they can afford to live. So then employers need to pay more to get those good employees. As a result of that, it will pass to the consumer and we will see inflation.
We never guessed Idaho Falls would be here 5 years ago. All right, let's go into local stats. This is an awesome start to the year. All right, last year in January, and we're talking Bonneville, Bingham, and Jefferson counties, there were 145 homes sold. All right, and this year we had 190 in January. So that's a 31% increase. That's a great January. I mean, we need a January like that. And if that continues to be the case in February and in March, then hopefully we can actually not have such a crazy spring with prices. So that is a great sign for our market, starting to stabilize and catch up with some inventory. Let's look at how these sold. We're seeing most of our activity of the 190 that sold. Again, we're seeing that basis of 500 or under is really our strong part of our market. When we get to 500 to 600, it goes from 45 to 20 to 7 to 3. All right, and the numbers are strong from 200 to 500. From 0 to 200, it's a non-existent market for the most part. It'll be interesting to watch, though, through the end of 2022, will this baseline be at 600 or under? Because there is a difference, a big difference between 600 and above versus 500 to 600. So there's 20 homes.
My buyers who were shopping, who didn't buy right away, have all of a sudden said, we're not in the 350 range, we're in the 450 range to get what we want. They can't find what they want in 350. They're like, we want A, B, C, D, E. And I said, okay, let's go look. And we're looking and we're shopping, nothing. They're like, all right, we're in 450. It just felt like overnight.
All right, let's look. This is a good stat to kind of keep us in check with where things are. How crazy is the market? How different is it? How many more homes sold? How many less homes sold from 2017, from when our prices have doubled since that year? We sold 2,955 homes. 2021, we had 2,929. We're basically selling the same amount of homes every year. Granted, there are for sale by owners that are not included in this. There are new builds that are not included in this. But overall, for the amount of homes that we have data on, we're seeing, for the most part, year over year, about the same amount of homes. We're right in the average. Okay, so it's not like there's a lot less homes selling. Oh, there's no homes on the market. Is that true? Mm-mm. There are homes on the market. You just have to have a different strategy of how you find that home. Let's look at average sales price. This one is very telling as well. And we don't really like these numbers either. We wish it would level off. But average sales price for 2021 in January was $328,000. How many of you remember last year in January, and we were basically just saying,
we were shocked.
This is so crazy.
Away.
This is unbelievable. And now here we are, almost $90,000 more. And we're at $413,802.
You probably said last year.
Who knows?
I can't imagine we'll go above 400,000.
Oh, yeah. Well, the thing is, we weren't even thinking like that. We just couldn't believe we were at 3. I never, ever guessed last year would be at over 400. All right, let's look at average sales price over time. 2017, we're at 193. And then we've gone up year over year and basically doubled in price from 193,000 average sales price, which now that market doesn't even exist. We sold 4 homes under 200,000 last month, and now we're at 380 as our average sales price.
For anyone who's like, should I wait? Is there a bubble? I'm going to wait till prices go down. If you bought the average home 5 years ago, you will have twice the value in your pocket. That money is now in those sellers' pockets. Almost $200,000 in their pocket over 5 years. Can you save $200,000 in 5 years? So do not wait till next year. Do not wait till, right? That is where you've got to really get your mindset when you're like, should I wait? Should I not?
And I mean, when you're accounting for inflation, if you're at 7% inflation, what other investments are you doing that are rating as much as real estate is right now? Like there's no other investment that you can make that is going to account and counterbalance inflation to that degree.
Real estate has been and always will be, the safest long-term investment that we can make. All right, let's look at list to sold ratios. We are seeing that go down a little bit, which that makes sense because we're selling more units, which means there's more inventory. So list to sold percentage last year in January was over 101%, and it's basically right at 100%. So we dropped 1.3% in average in list to sold percentage, and that's fine. We're fine with that, right? We're okay with getting 100% of list price on homes.
I think imagine a lot of buyers were looking at historically, they were shooting a little bit for the moon and they realized they had to come a little bit more reasonable, but it's not like it's 5%, it's not 10%. They're like, oh, I might be 1%, 2% over. I'm willing to adjust to get this under contract.
This next stat is really interesting to me because last year we heard all the stories and we know it happened that homes would go 30,000 over list price, 40,000 over list price, 50,000 over list price, and 40 showings. We know that happened, but guess what? That was not the norm because in 2021, overall for the whole year, we averaged only going about 1.69% over list price. So we hear the stories and the stories are fun to tell, but it's still not super crazy. And if you look at year over year, we went from basically 99% to 101%. So overall, for the last 5 years, it's been a really strong market. It's been a very strong seller's market and will be for the foreseeable future. We don't see that change and we don't see a possible way for that to change for many years still. Average days on market, those are going up. 24 days in 2021 in January last year. And last month it was 28 days. So we're seeing that go up 16.6%, and that's fine. We're seeing more inventory. That's what's going to happen. That's a great thing for us to see go up. Let's look at days on market over time. 2021 was at 22, and at 2020 we're at 34. 2017 we're at 54. Most of my time as a licensed realtor, we're over 100 days on market. And that was normal.
So as of right now, we're sitting with 198 homes on the market, active homes on the market in Bonneville, Bingham, Jefferson County. These are single family homes. So in the month of January, 210 homes went pending, which means they went under contract. If we had 198 come on, but 210 went off.
We're losing.
Yeah. We're losing already still, right? We're still losing inventory. We're still doing more closings. You can see we're not building enough inventory. Of those homes that went pending, 27 closed in January. So they came on, they went pending and closed in January. And we had a 22% fallout rate, which means homes that went under contract and then had to come back on the market. So what are you guys seeing as the reasons with your buyers? Because that is an agonizing situation, right? There's a lot of emotion that goes into when a deal falls apart. What's happening?
With them going and having to make a decision as fast as they are, they're getting, anxiety or stress. And so then they tend to just, I don't know if this is the one, or they think about it, or they see something else pop up on the market. And so, I feel like it's emotions, definitely.
Also, when buyers are paying that much for homes, they feel like they're paying over list price. They're expecting some things during inspection, right? Maybe a little bit of extra like credits or extra fixes, but I don't know about anybody else, but I've not had any terminations really.
We meet with the buyers. We tell them the game plan. We tell them what's going to happen. What can they expect? And if you have a game plan, a strategy, the odds of things working out smoother are way better.
It's not a fluke.
That's why.
Yeah, it's not a fluke. It's training and having an agent that does this full time, which everybody on our team does. And so, yeah, it's just having the right agent to prevent that happening.
So in that, as we mentioned, if we're on the video, if you're watching this, we also have a lot of training videos that go out to our buyers along the way, reminding them of what you guys talk about in that initial consultation, because that can be kind of overwhelming. And the idea is to keep, again, throughout the whole transaction training, so the expectations, there's less emotions when you knew it was coming. You knew there was going to be negotiation, you knew those kind of things.
So I'd say a key takeaway from what Ashley just said is if Ashley's about a 0% on her fallout rate, then that means another agent in the market's at 44%, and another agent could be at 70%. or at 100%, that all their deals they write offers on fall through every time. So if you're a buyer and you're wanting to figure out where the market is, you should ask your agent, like, what's your fallout rate? Of the last 5 deals, how many deals fell apart?
And how many deals do you do a year? If you're interviewing agents, that's a huge question. Do not look at years of experience, because there are a lot of agents that have been in the market for a long time, but they only do two deals a year, right?
Yeah,
And our
exactly.
Agents
You might ask
average-
them what was the last 5 deals that you did, and that's 5 years of
Yes,
real estate.
when were those
5 years
deals?
of real estate experience, because they did five
Yeah.
deals once a year.
Yeah, the average agent does how many, Jess?
2 to 3.
2 to
in our
3
market.
in a month?
In the year.
In the year, yeah. And our agents average that a month.
It's important. When they ask what do realtors get paid for, it's this. It's not finding the house. It's this part that it is. Right now, we are sitting at 130 homes in all of Bonneville, Jefferson, and Bingham counties. That's all that we've got in all price ranges. We're losing inventory still. We're still 9.5% down. Our absorption rate is still under a month. We're still counting it in the weeks. So we are in an extreme seller's market. So this is our breakdown right now of the current inventory. We have a lot of inventory sitting out here that's above $500,000. So if you want to get a home under $500,000, you have 52 homes to choose from. That makes it even tighter. So right now, as we take a look at this, on current pendings, we have 339 homes under contract. So they are still technically in the market, but they are under contract. How many homes closed? 190. And we have 339 sitting under contract.
I have a lot of buyers who say, I'm watching Zillow, I'm watching whatever, I know what the market is doing. You can't see those things if you don't have an agent who's looking at those pendings. So if you don't have an agent that knows how to get you into these pendings, because what did we see? 24% are going to come back on, and you want to be right there when those pendings come back.
That's right. So average price. So as of right now, we have the average price of pendings at $450.
Technically 460.
Almost 460.
Yeah, you're like right there.
So as we inch, can we get to 500? Holy cow.
And that's in January.
That's in
in
January.
February now. We haven't even gotten to the spring.
Yeah. So in the Idaho Falls area, current homes on the market, 71. 71 homes to choose from in all price ranges. And right now the absorption rate is 1.6 weeks, just under 2 weeks. And we would run out. Just under 2 weeks. So let's take a look at what's sitting out there. You guys have 26 homes to choose from in Idaho Falls under 500,000. 26 homes. 45 if you want to get up there. 45. Got plenty of inventory up there, right? So it's really interesting to see where we're at sitting at the current market. So our Idaho Falls area, 218 current pendings in the Idaho Falls area. We are sitting at 415 and average days on market 23 in Idaho Falls. So will this continue to rise? We just pulled this slide in on something that Zillow put out. Zillow did a forecast in December, expecting what would the prices do for this next year. Well, they've amended it already, and they're taking the predictions up to 16% from 11. So Zillow's already amending what their predictions are based on what they see.
And this is a reflection. If you look back at single family starts nationally, if they're down, well, of course, that means the market's going to have to respond with higher prices because there's not enough inventory.
Yep.
So nationally, there is an inventory issue.
Yep, it absolutely is. So again, great time to sell next year. You'll be saying the same thing next year as you said last year. I wish I would have bought a year ago.
You'll pay more if you wait.
If you pay more away, which is a perfect segue, Ashley, to Hunter. Hunter, talk to us about interest rates.
Yeah, I mean, it's been a crazy 90 days, and it's crazy to see the homes keep increasing, and what's happened with the interest rates over the last 90 days is if you look at this 30-year fix, so this is based off a 20% down payment with a FICO score between 700 and 760. Over the last 90 days, we have increased from 3.1% all the way up to 3.8%. And you would think that this would be felt and impact purchasing, but I'll tell you, people are buying now more than ever. I've taken more pre-quals. We have more live loans in our pipeline than we have even last year. And so I think people are getting accustomed to and knew that these interest rates would go up and would continue to go up. And so they're like, dang, I missed out on that, but they still need a home. And they still want to move to our area because based off of what we were looking at before, we are super affordable compared to other areas. And so what I'm seeing a lot of right now is I'm seeing a lot of dual incomes, two people working, boyfriend, girlfriend, spouses, right? They're working at the average median income of, $50,000. You combine that, you have $100,000. People are making these payments. They can get approved for this, even with a car payment, some debt, things like that. So it's really interesting to see that happening. And to go back to the first slides that we were talking about with inflation, this is having a huge impact on interest rates with inflation going up. And our economy is starting to normalize again, right? Jobs are the unemployment rate is down, and the Feds knew that these interest rates couldn't stay at this level for a long time, so they're starting to increase that. And so, with inflation being as high as it has been, these interest rates are definitely creeping up. We're at the 3.8% mark, and could continue to go up. But like I was saying before, it's not stopping people from purchasing a home. It's not stopping people from getting pre-approved. And if you were to look back even a few years ago in 2018, interest rates were 4.5%. So 3.8% still looks great if you were to look at it over the past couple of years. Same with the FHA rate. We're at 3.75, so they kind of follow suit. But yeah, it's been a pretty wild ride. Things have increased quite a bit over the last 30 days is when all this has really happened, and we've seen that increase. So it's definitely making a little bit of an impact on monthly payments, but overall, not a huge impact. We're not seeing really the effects of this, decreasing purchases or anything like that. So
People are still going to purchase. They're just going to be mad.
yeah, they're just be like, dang, I missed out. Okay, well, let's move forward, lock my loan, right?
Yeah.
I mean, if you look at my pipeline, I've locked, I think all of ours are locked at above 3.5% right now.
So who wants to refresh everybody that's watching the video on how much purchase power do you lose if interest rates go up 1%?
11%.
11%, yeah.
11%. So you get the same payment at 11% less house. If you want to buy a $400,000 house and rates go up 1%, you buy a $356,000 house for the same payment. That's it. Simple math. Okay. So one of our big parts of what we do as a team is community impact. We're all about making sure that we participate in the community. So our nosy neighbors, who did we visit this past month? We went to Intuitive Roots Healing. We talked to IF Signs. If you guys didn't get to see us talk to the moderator from East Idaho News that moderates all the comments, so interesting. Such a sweet lady. Really interesting. Cafe at Amore had my first hot chocolate in a long time because they offer sugar-free, which was amazing. Pristine Beauty Lounge and Generations Insurance. So I didn't realize this until we went to Generations Insurance. They specialize in Medicare, and that there's a huge amount of fraud and a lot of disinformation about people with Medicare. I didn't know that. And so having a local agent to help you with Medicare was a big deal. So that was a big learner for me. And we've got coming up here this next month in February, we've got Eagle Rock Gallery, Mountain River IV, Health and Wellness, and more. So tune into Nosy Neighbors and check out all these amazing local businesses that we are so passionate about. All right, just one more reminder today. If you are ever thought about getting into real estate, or you guys find somebody that's looking to think about it, we'd love to talk to them and talk about Murdoch Manworth. All right, you guys, that's the stats. Thanks so much. See you next month.